Well, we are continuing our exploration of various songs in the Bible. We have heard Moses, we have heard Hannah, and now in the book of Lamentations, a very small book nestled between the books of the great prophets, Jeremiah and Ezekiel, we will hear a song of Jeremiah. And so we begin now with the good word that our God has given to us. The thought of my affliction and my homelessness is wormwood and gall. My soul continually thinks of it and is bowed down within me. But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. How wonderful it is to see you this morning. How beautiful it is outside on this new day. How tired I might feel on this Sunday. How sad I might be on any particular day. Those statements express different feelings, but what do they have in common? They have in common this very interesting word, how. How can be used in a variety of ways. It's a fascinating word. It's a very small word. Here we are using it as an adverb. And what do all of those sayings have in common? How good it is to see you today. How beautiful it is outside. Or how sad I might feel on any given day. All of those sentences, they have two things in common. One, they are exclaimed. They are big words. They are said with great volume. They are exclamations. They are songs. They may be joyful songs or they may be sorrowful songs, but they have power. And that is what the word how accomplishes. It gives our cries, and this is the second important thing to know here. This word how, this adverb, gives a certain volume to that which we are speaking or to that which we are singing. When you say how wonderful it is to see you, you're not saying, it's pretty good to see you. No, you're saying something big. You are emphasizing your emotion. Your emotion is strong, and the word how suggests that. When you look out the window on this June morning and you see how pretty it is outside, when you say how pretty it is outside, you're not saying, it looks pretty nice out today. No, you're saying something powerful. You're saying something with volume. You are making an exclamation. You're saying something big. How pretty it is outside today. Now, in the case of Jeremiah, at the beginning of our reading, there is lamentation. He says that my soul has fallen down within me. Similarly, when we say, how sad I am at this moment, we are not saying, I feel a little bit sad. No, we are with Jeremiah here saying, how sad I am, how truly sad I am. The book of Lamentations, actually, in the Hebrew Bible, is simply called How. That's the title for the book. How. And why is that? Because the book begins with the word how. How lonely and broken sits the city of Jerusalem. How desolate are its streets. how heartbroken are its people. This book of Lamentations, I really like to think of it as this book, How, is a book that expresses big emotion. Big emotion. It is a song that is sung with high volume. It expresses sorrow, how broken and empty is the city. Jeremiah says, you might say, how downcast, how sorrowful I feel. That is the first part of the song. My soul falls within me. How sad I am at this moment. And yet, he says, but I call this to mind. Do you know that expression that something can be two sides of the same coin? Well, we have one coin here, if you will. You know, coins have heads and tails. Think of a coin when we hear this song of Jeremiah that is sung with great volume. He says, my soul continually thinks of my affliction. How afflicted, how sorrowful I am. That's the one side of the coin. And then we come to what I have said is probably the most important word in the Bible, the conjunction but. When we hear the word but, you know now that the coin is going to flip. Jeremiah says, but I call this to mind. Heads and now tails. The coin is flipped. Now I have hope. The song goes from lamentations, an expression of how sad I am at this moment, to how hopeful I am. Because he says that the Lord's love never ceases. His mercy never ends. It is new every morning, and like we sing, great is thy faithfulness, O God. This book of Lamentations, this book called How, brings together themes that we have seen already. It brings together in a single song both sorrow, affliction, and hope. Two sides of the same coin. Well, when you want to flip a coin, what do? Often we put it on our thumb and we flick our thumb and the coin goes flipping in the air. How does this coin flip? How does this coin that has affliction on one side flip so that there is hope on the other side? The one who flips the coin, it's not Jeremiah, it's not the prophet. The one who flips the coin is God. God who is steadfast, God who turns our lamentations into songs of joy. God who flips the coin within us and turns our despair into hope. This is what Jeremiah understands. So he can say, on the one hand, how sorrowful I am with big volume. And then all of a sudden he can say, how hopeful I am. His lamentation becomes a song of joy. His expression of sorrow becomes an expression of hope. And it's not because he would say that he flipped the coin, but rather he understands that it is God who brings forth hope from our darkest moments. That it is God who brings forth light from those dark regions in which we find ourselves. It is God who turns our song of affliction, how big it is, into a song of hope. How big that will become. David in the book of Psalms, it's my favorite psalm, Psalm number 121. David in a similar moment of lamentation, David writes, I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. David goes on, he will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun shall not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all evil. He will keep your life. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in for this time and forevermore. The Song of David there in the book of Psalms is very, very similar in spirit to what we are hearing by Jeremiah in this book of Lamentations. Affliction turns into promise. Despair turns into hope. All of this is occurring within a single song. I'm sure that there is music that you listen to that brings you both joy and moves you to tears. I am sure that there is music that you listen to that makes your heart race with excitement, and music that at the very same time articulates the sorrow that you may be feeling within you. Think about songs like that you know and that you listen to, that capture those emotions. If you think about music that is meaningful to you, keep in mind that spirit, and then you can hear these words of Jeremiah. How deep is my affliction? My soul falls down within me. But I will find hope, because God's mercy is steadfast and enduring. God's love is without end. His mercies never come to an end, but great is thy faithfulness. There is a song that captures both emotions. There is a song that we can sing. There is a song that is like a coin that flips. Heads, we have affliction. Tails, we have promise. Heads, we have sorrow. Tails, we have hope. And it is God who will flip that coin within us. It is God who will flip that coin during the seasons of our lives. That is what David knows. That is what Jeremiah is singing. It all comes back to the word how. We should not be afraid to express that which is in us. We should not be shy to say how sorrowful I feel. We should not be shy. We can use the language of the Bible. We can use the language of Lamentations here. This book called How. How heavy is my heart. And we can also sing with great joy, how wonderful I am feeling today, this morning, in this new moment. This is the content of these Bible songs. They're big in volume. They're powerful. They express the range of what we feel. And nowhere do we see that more clearly, more pointedly than here at this moment in this book called How. How sorrowful becomes how hopeful. How heartbroken becomes how whole. Let this be your song. Don't be afraid of the word how. And remember that within your life, it is God who will flip that coin. It is God who will turn your affliction into promise. It is God who will put together the pieces of a broken heart. And it is God who will make all things new. Because, in the language of Jeremiah, we might say, how good God is. Amen.